All right, guys. Okay. So, hello, welcome back. We're going to go boom, boom, boom again. I'm going to talk a little bit, and I'm going to give you as much practical things to do as possible. Breathwork, NLP. What did we look at this morning? Wim Hof method. Wim Hof method is useful because what does it tell us? Wim Hof method, what? CO2 is about expelling CO2 and has two different parts of the nervous system, which are? Sympathetic and parasympathetic. You need to know those two things really, really well. Okay, those are the two things you're going to be playing with all the time through the breath and through this emotional work with NLP and with this transformative breath work. Now, the things we're going to be covering, which I should have gone through, but this. We understand the breathing basics. Now, everybody has looked at all the videos already, so we already know the breathing basics, right? It was looking like you breathe through your mouth, through your nose. What's this? Okay. The breathing basics, anatomy, physiology, and health benefits, that's in the book, that's on the videos. I'm not going to cover that right now. That would be a waste of time. Diagnose breathing efficiency. Basically, how do you look at somebody? There's two ways you can tell whether they're breathing well or not. You can look at them, you can listen to them, and you can administer two types of tests, which we're going to go through right now. Assigning breathing techniques. Tomorrow morning, everyone is going to essentially lead a mini demo in a small group. They're going to teach a little breathing technique from the book that we looked at. Lead a Wim Hof session. Actually, it's more like you're going to co-facilitate the transformative breathwork session. So this evening, I'm going to run one big transformative breathwork for all you 24 people here. Tomorrow evening, 12 of you are going to be co-facilitating for 12 others, and the following day it'll be 12 and 12. This will give you the opportunity, one, to have two transformative breathwork sessions while you're here, and to feel what it's like to have a microphone on, a headset, to be talking to people. Some people love it, to be quite honest, you know. Is there any Tantra teachers in here? No? No? We get no? The Tantra teachers have gone quiet. I say Tantra like sister. Tantra teachers have gone so quiet all of a sudden. You know a Tantra teacher, because once they get the headphones and the microphone, okay, just breathe. Oh, just let it go, yeah. Listen to my voice. Oh, yes. That's not what we're aiming for. You can do whatever you want, but I'll show you the basic things about speaking we'll be talking about tomorrow, but it's speaking confidently, providing comfort, and just letting the person, reminding them to fucking breathe and saying you're there, it's all okay. There's much more complex versions of that, but we don't need to be going, okay, fall into yourself and you're, let's skip that, right? Experience and try and co-facilitate. We're going to be looking at NLP and how you use language, and then we're going to be practicing using the audio equipment. The most interesting thing for you guys is going to be, one, trying the transformative, and two, looking at somebody going through that transformative experience while you're talking to them and touching them and being in that whole thing. It's a very crazy experience, super interesting. People react differently, okay? What I want to talk about now is, we did that. That's the structure of what we're doing, which you just mentioned. Body work tomorrow. That's super interesting. Okay, we're not going to do this, but because we have loads of yoga teachers, if you are running a breathwork session, I would recommend you're doing some sort of stretches which allow people to open their diaphragm and their chest. This can be a cat-cow. Hands up, who doesn't know what a cat-cow is? Okay, maybe we'll do a cat-cow. A side stretch, everyone know a side stretch can be just this. That everyone can teach it. Like when you're doing this, you're like, okay, breathe out, okay, come back up, breathe left, anything to open up this area. A lot of people, I have to use a better word than fucked up. A lot of people have compromised flexibility and diaphragmatic muscles and these things, like a lot of people, and a lot of people are not in their bodies at all. So you take this opportunity when they come in and you're like, okay, let's do a couple of stretches to open up your diaphragm, and maybe you'll guide them a little bit with the types of breathing. That's it, exhale slowly. And you might take, assuming they're not drinking tea, when they're drinking tea and touching, but you know, take the opportunity to touch them, because after that you're going to be touching them a lot. So take the first natural opportunity that you have to make contact with them, which can be stretching. You know, okay, now just move your back a little, that's it, and get them comfortable with that. And when people come into your session, like, you're going to be going through potentially traumatic release, emotional bonding, nervous systems linked experience, right? So like shaking their hand is fine, but you might as well give them a hug if you, like, as early as possible, break that bottle and make it like normal. I think I hugged everybody more. So clearly we're hugging because you're here for this, right? That's up to your level of comfort, but it's advisable that you get comfortable with that, because you're going to be doing much more intense stuff than that, right? So breaking that contact thing as quickly as possible. This is going to be highly inappropriate, but I'll go with it anyway. So I used to live in Taiwan. And why is it better? Why is the dating scene better in Taiwan than in Ireland? Any reasons? Anything, Mike? Because you do it online? No, because you have a fucking. That's Thailand, baby. That's a different one. Yeah, that's good though. It's very. You never know. Like, what have we got today? I have to guess. 50-50. I gotta go with it. One of the main reasons why is because you're generally riding a scooter or a motorbike, right? So when you go on a date, the most natural thing in the world is, okay, you sit on the back of the scooter and I'll drive you off there, you know? Boom. Half the work is already done. Well, at least you had that physical contact, not that awkwardness, right? And in a sense, a breath work is like, it's sort of similar. You're sort of like to get physical contact in a natural way as much as possible to normalize that so that they're not going, oh, it's going to touch me, someone's going to touch me, right? Now, everyone has different levels of comfort and touch and these kind of things. I think we need, this again, going to sound really inappropriate, don't cut this out, but we need more touching, you know what I mean? We need more physical contact, we need more sharing, we need more physicality, we need people in their bodies, we need like human beings, like we're animals, you know, and that's the part we're missing these days, okay? So spinal twist, we all know spinal twist. You're sitting down and simply like that, just twisting anything. These basic stuff you can look up on YouTube. A chest opener. Anybody got a chest? Someone show me a chest opener? We can do this, we can do this, we can do the old camelback, whatever you want, just something to open up. 2 or 3 different exercises combined with breathing. It's a nice way to start, get people in their bodies, and it'll help them relax. Cobra. You know what a cobra is? We got a cobra, right? Or a cobra, or, you know, like an upward facing dog, we're rolling back the shoulders, anything like that. It's great. You're going to be pushed for time depending on how much time you have, what you're doing with them, but usually some sort of stretching is great. This isn't a yoga workshop, so we can move relatively quickly through that. Oh, look! It's Wim Hof in all his glory! No, Wim Hof, love him, great. Anything you notice about Wim Hof? Is Wim Hof aging well? No. Now, why would Wim Hof not be aging well? He's a breathwork master. Sorry? All right, he's outdoors a lot and he's in the bitter cold and his face is freezing off, and yeah, there's one. Straight away, a lot of exposure to the elements. Number 2? He had a tough life. Yeah? Anything else?
I actually listened to something recently, and it's because he's just using one part of this kind of like a yoga teaching, not the 4 different. As a complex yoga, and he's using only one part, which is destroying body.
Yeah, okay, so this is me, and we don't have really time to go into this, but clearly, when you do this breath work, you can feel it, right? Spiking, adrenaline, neoadrenaline, cortisol, all the things are spiking up, and he has the counterbalance and all these things, but it's a stressor on the body. It's a stressful thing. It's not, it's relaxing, it creates these things, but you can feel that it's not like completely relaxing, right? Now, you can think about that in different ways, and I love Wim Hof and I love the method, but you have to be aware that you're releasing hormones in your body, which will, it's not just all win, as far as I'm concerned, right? So just be aware of that. Now, how old is Wim Hof? I keep pointing the Wim Hof instructors if you're your Wim Hof embodiment over here. Huh? He's only 65, exactly. Now,
I'm trying to preserve you.
okay. Now, these are the basic elements that I think you should more or less be able to navigate when you're talking to somebody about what the breathworker is doing. I think you have a responsibility as a breathworker to understand the basic science behind it and to know that when you're saying something to somebody, you should do this. You need to know these things more or less, okay? Now, we got impact on O2 and CO2. That's quite straightforward. Well, it isn't actually, but whatever. Like people who are over breathing are lowering their levels of CO2, and this is really important. The less CO2 you have in your body, the less oxygen you get to your tissues, because think about it like this, CO2 is like a taxi and it takes the O2 into your tissues, okay? And if you don't have enough CO2, it's like in Wexford, for example, we don't have taxis anymore, okay? For some reason, mainly because of cocaine and alcohol, let's be honest. But if you don't have a taxi, which is the CO2, the O2 is not getting into your brain and your system, Okay, so a lot of what we're talking about with functional breath work is raising the levels of CO2 by training the body to accept higher levels. Okay, impact on the heart rate. Long inhalations, heart rate goes up or down? Up. Long inhalations, the relatively long inhalations, your heart rate goes up. Yeah, transformative breath work, heart rate goes up.
No, I just confused. You're saying long. For me, those just a rapid and short ones. Long
But relatively, so it's relatively long relative to the exhale. So it's relative. Yeah. So apologies, and I'm glad we cleared that up. Vagus nerve stimulation. Yep.
So sorry, James. So, so say belly breathing, where you're focusing on the inhale, that's not going to raise it up, is it?
Well, think when we do this. That's a belly breathing, like exhaling with your diaphragm. Long diaphragmatic exhales are going to lead to vagus nerve stimulation. That's going to be parasympathetic. But when your inhale is relatively long compared to the exhale, that's going to raise the heart rate. Even if it's a yeah, but if you're doing this, your heart rate's still going to go up. Still going to go up. I can feel my heart rate going up right now.
So just the difference between
It's the relative length of the inhales and exhales. That's the best way of explaining it. Okay, there are other ways, but I find that's the easiest way to remember. Your vagus nerve is the wandering nerve. It's a nerve that runs from your head all the way down into your body. There are different ways of stimulating it. You stimulate it largely by long, slow exhales through your nose using your diaphragm. Okay, vagal tone. There's a whole lot of topics on that. If you want to know how to breathe through using your diaphragm, how do you exhale using your diaphragm? Yoga teachers over there somewhere. Anyway, to guarantee that you're using your diaphragm when you breathe out. No.
Is it a lock?
Sorry?
Like a lock? Like in...
No, just literally, how do I know? I want to exhale using my diaphragm. How do I guarantee I'm doing that? How do you teach someone? Sorry? You do this, guys. So you take your hand and you imagine you're like blowing on a mirror like that. And you can do this actually. This is good. You want to train people, yeah? Put your hand on your stomach and breathe in. And as you exhale, imagine you're fogging up a mirror. That will naturally engage your diaphragm. And then you can do that and you can change that. And you can make that same noise? No, but I'm going to say nose right now. That's why I got confused. You can do the same thing. And you feel you're naturally going to breathe with your diaphragm. Easiest way to train someone to use their diaphragm. That will naturally activate the vagus nerve and parasympathetic. Blood vessels. I'll just say sympathetic breathing or sympathetic nervous system. Do the blood vessels constrict or open? Constrict because? CO2. Thank you very much. Sympathetic and parasympathetic, great. pH levels. I'll give you a hint. CO2 is acidic. So when you hyperventilate, your blood becomes alkaline. Alkalosis is part of this process, and that's one of the reasons why the blood starts to move in different ways because of the change in the pH. Okay, this is super complex, so we're just going to try and keep it like, but yeah, you should know. It becomes alkalosis is the process of what's happening when we're breathing with this transformative style. Brainwave activity, we have alpha, beta, delta. Theta is like the trance state that you're going for. That's all you need to know for that. Hormonal response, bombs everywhere. So when we have sympathetic, what are the hormones? Cortisol, adrenaline, oxytocin, serotonin. So look, I think about like this, and there's many ways to frame this. There are two versions of you. There is the dopamine you, and there's the serotonin you. Okay? The dopamine you is like the sympathetic you, right? It's a boom, boom, I'm getting shit done, I'm chasing my dreams, I'm living, bam, 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 bam. And the serotonin you is the I'm having sex and chocolate and watching television, right? Like I'm not gonna, it's like Sunday, I'm relaxing, I'm chilling, okay? I like to think of those two systems like that. There's a lot of overlap with that. Sympathetic is bam, bam, dopamine. The parasympathetic is like, finally I can just chill and do fucking nothing, okay? Respiratory rate, straightforward enough. Now, when you're breathing with this Wim Hof method, Wim Hof instructor again, do you tell them to breathe, is there a certain rate you want them, or a certain depth that you want them to breathe with?
No, I'll do a demo and I'll say this is how my body looks when I breathe, because their body isn't going to look like my body. But no, I don't like say 2
Yeah. So
at their own pace. Because
at their own pace.
it's first time.
Exactly. So at your own pace. Now, depending on the depth and the rate, that's going to lead to different effects. Obviously, like if you're breathing shallower, you're going to have more activation in certain ways, different changes. But the most important thing that you don't want someone lying there and going, "Am I doing it right? Am I doing it right? Oh, Daddy said I was useless. He was right. I can't even breathe properly." Honestly, that's what's going on in people's heads. Like I've done a lot of hypnosis sessions and breathwork sessions. I look at, Jesus. She's off wondering if she's doing it right, or he, or whatever, right? So don't make them, make it as simple as possible. When they ask, am I doing it right? As long as their stomach is dropping out and they're breathing through their mouth, which is already a big success, to be quite honest, they're doing it right, leave them alone. It'll happen. Whatever the effect you want will happen with that. And endorphin release is just these big, all those hormones, okay? Now, that would look like, in picture format, this. And tomorrow, guys, I'm going to have break you in the book. There's like 8 different breathwork techniques, right? Tomorrow, I'm going to break you into groups of 6, and each one is going to lead a mini breathwork demo. You're going to say, okay, today I'm going to show you alternate nasal breathing, and the aim of this is this, and you do it like this, and this impacts your body like this. So your homework before we go, I'll assign everybody one of these, and you'll should be more or less able to comfortably explain how this is impacting your vagus nerve, is it sympathetic, parasympathetic, things like that. Good? Blood, this is clear enough, isn't it? Everyone always says, estrogen, hormones, brain waves, blood vessels, pH, vagus nerve, O2, CO2, the sympathetic, the nervous system, and your heart rate. Yeah? Now, self-analysis. How many people breathe through their mouths? Be honest. We have 1, 2, 3. Okay. But we got 4. Okay, breathing through your mouth. We breathe through our nose. Why? Because it's humidifying, it's cleansing, and because it slows down the way you breathe naturally. Is it from your abdomen, from your chest? How big is the wave? As soon as you breathe in, breathe out, do you need to breathe in again or not? So basically, healthy breathing should be like this. Breathe out, pause, breathe in, pause, breathe out, pause. Again, it's the opposite of the Wim Hof, right? Normal breathing should be light and slow, slight pause at the top, slight pause at the bottom. Okay, now, I'll send you this PDF as well, but we're going to do this because all those things are related to low CO2 levels. Okay, 2 tests. Body oxygen level test, the BOLT test. This is a test of your tolerance to CO2. It's great to give people this test. Why do we want to give people this test?
To see where they are.
1, to see where they are directly, so they have a target, they have a goal. 2, because it's a really objective test. They have certain symptoms, and you say, okay, look, do this. There you are, you're on 20. That's why you feel like this. And they have a target, and every time you move up, people are going to feel better. Okay? How does it work? It works like this. Look at this clear diagram. You breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out through your nose to the normal level, and then you hold. And you hold your breath until the first distinct urge to breathe again comes along. Right? And there's a range. We're going to do it right now, actually. You ready? Everybody ready? Don't lie to yourselves now, guys, because the second test, we're going to see the truth anyway. This is not a test of, like, how long can you gun it and hold your breath. This is literally a test of how long until you feel like breathing again, right? So it's a subjective interpretation, okay? I should get a clock or a watch. Let me get.
On my phone.
Yeah, can you turn on a time? I'm gonna say breathe in, breathe out. We're gonna do it, and you just watch the clock and take note. You gonna stop watching me?
There's a timer, whichever.
That's great. Okay. So we're gonna breathe in, right? Breathe in. Breathe out to your nose. Breathe in again. And breathe out to normal levels for your nose. And go. Hold. Every clock. Just take note. When you feel the first distinct urge to breathe, make sure you look at this clock over here. That's 10. That's 15. 20. 25. 30. That's 35. And we're up to 40. And if anyone's going, fair play. Yeah? Now, I did this in Dubai last week and everybody got to 45 because they're all liars. Now, okay, ranges. I'm not going to go on and ask, but basically 25 is like the level where you won't have significant problems with your breathing if you can hold it for 25. Right? If you're below 25, you're going to have symptoms related to respiratory inefficiency, basically. 40 is like optimum. Anything over 40 is amazing. 25 is under. Okay? Good?
Yeah.
Okay, now, next, yeah, questions. You should have questions. Go.
Like when you say that you want to breathe, is it just like
Distinct urge to breathe.
feeling, or is it like
You want just the feeling, not the fuck I have to breathe now. It's like, okay, I want to breathe. Now, your natural rhythm, like, oh fuck, I'd like to breathe now. That's enough. Okay, now, people are going to lie. That's okay. People are going to lie to themselves, going to lie to you. So you have a second test. And this is called the maximum breathless test, and it's less hard to lie about it. There you go. So how does this work? This works great for kids, by the way. For those of you working with kids, it works really good because again, you're setting a target. So what we're doing is, you're same thing. You're breathing normally, breathing in, breathing normally, breathing in, and then you're going to see how many steps you can take before you pass out. No. And I want to see you hit the floor. No, literally, how many steps you can take before you have to breathe again. Okay? So we're going to take, we'll take 12. You want to do 12 and 12? You're very ambitious. All right, let's go. Let's do 12 and 12. It's more fun anyway. 12 let's take the left. Let's take this side over here. Up you come.